Good morning. Day 6. Camp last night near some horse packers. So they were just out on a day trip. Of course, the problem is then the whole camp kind of smells like horses and flies and poop. Can't tell whether it's me or whether it's the horses, but I'll let the horses take the blame. I also ran into a hiker who was a Forest Service employee. So I've got about 11 miles into Benchmark. There I'll pick up my box at the Benchmark Ranch. And then I think my plan is I am going to go into Lincoln. Just the timing of the stop seems to work better for that. So that means I don't have to kill myself doing the 3 days into Lincoln. Should be pretty steady. Hopefully getting a little early in the day. So that means at Benchmark, I'm just going to load up. I'm going to eat my dinner at lunch. Maybe just eat my extra packet of ramen for dinner tonight. So that means I just have to carry 2 dinners, 3 breakfasts, and snacks and lunches. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully my box is there. And we'll see if anyone's there. I haven't heard of anyone actually getting any services there, like showers or anything, because it sounds like they're all working during the day. So we'll find out. Beautiful hiking towards Benchmark. Looks like there's been some fire damage here, so we're just coming into the area where see some fire damage. Sun still hasn't come up yet. Last glimpse of Chinese Wall, looking back through the burn. And now look at all those burned out trees. Just hiking along on day 6, heading into Benchmark, ruminating on the concept of time on long hikes. Every time I've done a long hike, I've always had a deadline. Appalachian Trail, had to get back to school at Harvard. Pacific Crest Trail, had to get back to start business school at Tuck. And CDT, I had to cut out by September to hit my starting date at McKinsey. So that's a very different experience than a lot of people where, they kind of stop their lives and just have an open-ended commitment to the trail. Makes it easier in some ways when you don't have all these deadlines, but it probably depends on your personality. I'm kind of a goal-oriented person, so once I work backwards from what I need to do, I usually try to figure out some way of doing it. Although, frankly, I've only succeeded once on the CDT. The Appalachian Trail, there was just no way I was going to get it done in the time I had. And the CDT is so freaking long. It's tough to get done in one season, even if you have open-ended time. So on this hike, I don't know, I don't really have a deadline. I mean, I could spend a few more days or even a week out. It wouldn't really matter. Yet, because of my personal style, I find myself hurrying all the time. Oh, can I save half a day here? Can I pick up a few extra miles there? I don't know why. I think it's just kind of a hiking personality type. And there are people with very different hiking personalities who are probably better at just experiencing the moment. I don't know what it is, but every set of horses has a dog, usually sometimes 2. Dog runs in the front and then one takes up the rear. today's thoughts on trekking poles. So I'm carrying these lovely black diamond alpine carbon cork. So they're carbon fiber, super light, about 1.5 pounds for the pair. When I started hiking the Appalachian Trail, no one made trekking poles. Maybe they had them in Europe or something, but certainly not here. I didn't use anything, and I stayed that way for about till about New England. Now, the guy I was hiking with for quite a while, Bob, he was a skier, so he carried a ski pole. And eventually, up in one of the New England ski areas, I was in a shop and they just had the barrel of single poles they had. They probably just find them sitting at the bottom of the slopes come spring. And so for like $3, I got myself a ski pole, and the guy cut it down to the right size for me. And so from then on, I used my trail name as Peter Rabbit and Polanski. But apparently it took Bob about a week to figure out what that meant. He thought I was actually hiking with someone. And that's the system I used for the PCT and the CDT. Now, you know, with my back and my knees, this is the first time I'm using double trekking poles, and they make a tremendous difference. I mean, when I'm going downhill, I can use my hands a little bit to take the pressure off my knees, or if I'm stepping down. When I'm going uphill, I can get a little push. I mean, you use more energy, so you get hot and more tired, but they're so light now that it's definitely worth the extra load, although I do end up just carrying them a lot of the time. As you get closer to benchmark, it's a horse superhighway. There's like 4 or 5 tracks, all created by the horses. Basically, as you get closer to benchmark, the number of people you see goes up exponentially. So I'll probably start seeing some day hikers in a bit. Real bridges, we've reached civilization. Oh, it's a pretty bridge. A nice view. Going upriver. Just look at all the burn up there. You can just see it all along the ridge line. All right. Trapped behind the moving horse train. So it's like you're stuck in the dust the whole time. And more to come. Well, they said I'd find more when we got near benchmark, and that's certainly the case. I feel sorry for the woman walking the dust behind. And right as we're coming into benchmark, following horses. Long, dusty walk up the road to Benchmark Ranch. It's hot. It's not 1.5 miles, it's 2.7. And so far, only one car's passed me, and it had a horse trailer, so I wasn't getting a ride from them. Oh well, almost there. And here we are, finally made it to Benchmark Wilderness Ranch, where our resupply is. So everything's in the hiker box here. See, it's a bear-proof box. And let's take a look. Oh, quite a few boxes. Well, let's see. This one looks like mine. Addressed to Peter Shaw. Okay, here's my gear dump at Benchmark. So basically I've got my clothing bag. I think I lost a pair of Injinji socks somewhere. The tent, my sleeping quilt, my puffy, and my ditty bag. And let's see all the food that I hauled all the way from East Glacier and never ate. So in the back is trash. Then I got my breakfast stuff, so I've got about 1 day of granola and no more powdered milk. And then I really blew it on the snacks. So I've got all the Scorp, I've got several Snickers bars, and I've got my remaining lunch stuff and Triscuits. Then for dinner, I've got one ramen, one mashed potatoes with beef stew, and my miscellaneous stuff. All right, came back from Benchmark to the trail, Benchmark Ranch. Rough getting over there, much easier getting back for some reason. I think it was more downhill. There was some shade, and felt better. Then when I got to the campsites, I used the pump, took a hillbilly shower by throwing my a leaf of hand soap into the disgusting Gatorade pee bottle, and rinsed myself off. I don't know if there was enough soap to remove all the grease, because I still felt like there was a layer on there, but I definitely feel cleaner. Okay, and now we're about to head off on the trail. So you can see this is the one I came in on, which is very popular. And then here's the one I'll be taking, which is, let's just say, a little less popular. All right, just sitting here after taking a little dip in the river over there. Knocked off around 5. Even though I took a hillbilly shower earlier, I just kind of dipped myself in the creek, so that felt really good. It's because it's only 5, the sun's really out, so I'm getting dried off fast in the sun. And so just listen to some music and hanging out. Gotta cross this creek tomorrow, so wet crossing. I think maybe I'll put on my water shoes or something like that, so I don't get my socks all wet. And looks like I have about maybe 56 miles into Rogers Pass, so that should be pretty straightforward with the pace I'm going, and assuming there's nothing crazy going on in the route. All right, cheers. I deserve this. Not the best warm, but you know what? There's no complaints here. It's probably the best campsite so far, like hardly any bugs, beautiful creek. And I only hiked 14 trail miles today, although if you add the 5 into Benchmark, it was pretty much 20 miles. So we'll see. The camping looks like it's tricky up ahead, so might try to push big miles and stealth camp tomorrow, and that'll set me up maybe for Lewis and Clark Pass. We'll see. Anyway, cheers. Here's to day 6. The adventure continues. So this is my pot cozy. There's a top to it. They made this with basically something that's used for home insulation. So all I do is I bring my food to a boil, and let's say this is ramen that takes about 3 minutes to cook. You just stick it in there. You don't have to keep the stove going, so it saves fuel. And when I'm cooking pasta that takes 8 minutes or so, you can just put it in there for 8 minutes, and it's pretty much good to go. All right, because I had a big lunch of chili, I didn't want to carry a full meal for dinner, so I just used my leftover ramen, but I think the wine makes up for it.